The story begins with a spaceship flying somewhere in space. It was an American ship. It was in space in order to detect UFOs. An American agent arrived on this ship. He arrived on it to find out if they found anything, but unfortunately the workers on the ship for a long time no one they found out, and the agent was unhappy. When they entered the control room, suddenly the ship began to shake. Suddenly a pink spot appeared in the sky and a spaceship flew out of this spot. Everyone was very surprised. Suddenly a hologram of an alien appeared on their ship, which warned them that if they did not surrender in 15 seconds, they would destroy the ship. 15 seconds passed and the aliens fired missiles at the ship, but the ship had protection that did not let them die. The captain of the ship saw how the aliens flew to the planet Earth on a small plane, and she ordered her assistant to chase them. She boarded a plane and went in pursuit. Meanwhile, the Avengers were sitting in their kitchen after a long workout. Tony was about to leave, but the Hulk informed him that the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents were looking for Tony to inform him that aliens would soon attack Earth and they would need the Avengers to stop them. At the same time, a ship with aliens landed somewhere on Earth. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents tried to stop them, but the aliens were able to defeat them. A villain named Ronan came out of the spaceship. He arrived on this planet to destroy it. Suddenly someone flew past them very quickly and was able to scatter them around. It was Miss Marvel. The aliens tried to shoot her, but they didn't succeed. She flew in with robot assistants. They tried to attack Ronan in response, but he was able to destroy them all. A fight began between Miss Marvel and Ronan. Ronan won this fight because he was very strong. After the battle, Ronan arrived on planet Earth to give people an announcement. He warned that if people did not obey him, he would destroy them all. Suddenly the Avengers flew up. They did not let him finish. The Avengers tried to talk peacefully with the aliens, but the aliens began to attack them. Meanwhile, on the alien ship they were going to destroy the planet Earth. They had a special weapon that could do it. The aliens were waiting for Ronan to tell them to do it and they would do it, but the Avengers did not let him do it. Suddenly Ronan ordered the destruction of the Earth, but the captain of the ship was able to stop the destruction of the Earth. She made her way to the ship and destroyed all the aliens on the spaceship. But Ronan was still on the ground fighting the Avengers. He easily defeated the Avengers, but Miss Marvel stopped him. Ronan was put in prison for villains with super abilities. Iron Man praised Ms. Marvel and invited her to the Avengers team, and she agreed. The next evening came. In one of the banks of the city, a video was being filmed. One of the cameras was filming the most important safe in this bank. Suddenly money began to disappear in the safe, or rather they began to decrease in size. The camera zoomed in and saw that it was an Ant-Man. The Ant arrived at the Avengers base and was met by a Wasp who tried to convince him to stay in the Avengers team, but the Ant came to the base to pick up all his things. He reduced his laboratory in size and took it with him. While they were talking to each other, the news was shown on the TV. The presenter reported the news that recently absolutely a bank robbery from which $20 million disappeared. The TV showed the recordings from the cameras, and when the Ant saw how the money decreased in size, he was surprised and went to his home. He came home and opened his locker where his suit was lying, but it wasn't there. He was very upset because someone stole his suit and committed a robbery in it, because only his suit is able to reduce objects. Ant arrived to his partners and told about the whole problem. He said that someone was able to break into his locker with a suit and put it on, but the thief did not know what kind of suit it was. When he put it on, it immediately shrank in size, so he used this suit for robbery. His partners promised to help him, and meanwhile the thief who stole his suit was robbing another bank, but when he flew out of it on an ant, he could not cope with the controls and fell. He increased in size and was noticed by a guard. The guard called for reinforcements, but the thief again decreased in size and flew away. At the same time, Ant's friends arrived who were supposed to grab the thief. They noticed him and tried to grab him, but the thief grabbed the money and flew away again. The thief arrived at his hotel. He had already started to undress, but suddenly someone burst through the door. It was an ant with an iron fist and his friend. When the ant entered the room, there was a man standing in front of him. The ant recognized this man. This man was once a janitor in the ant's laboratory. The thief said that his daughter was sick and needed money to cure her, so he was robbing banks. Suddenly the thief got up and escaped through the window. It turns out that the thief was informed that his daughter had been kidnapped, and to pick her up it was necessary to bring money. He came to pick up his daughter with money, but when he was going to pick up his daughter, the kidnappers did not let him do it. Suddenly an ant with his friends burst into the building. The ant shot the girl, but it was not a bullet, but a substance that it could have reduced a person. A battle began between the kidnappers and the Ant's team. The superheroes defeated the villains and the girl returned to her father. The Ant decided not to take the costume from the thief since he didn't need it anyway. A few days passed. Suddenly a golden ball began to form in the center of the city from nowhere. The police went to check what it could be. When they approached, they saw a man in the pit who asked for help. He constantly repeated that someone was chasing him. Meanwhile, the Wasp was talking to Miss Marvel. They were discussing the Ant that left the Avengers. Someone rang the doorbell and the Wasp opened the door. There were policemen with some man behind the door. It was the same man who appeared in the golden ball in the center of the city. The police left him at the Avengers, and while the Wasp I was taking him to the medic in the elevator, then the mysterious man began to tell his story. One day he was driving his car somewhere in the mountains and his car started to stall and he stopped. Suddenly someone tore the roof off his car. It was an alien robot. He was kidnapped and placed on a special chair and some liquid was poured into it. Suddenly he had a panic attack and the Wasp put him to sleep. This man's name was Michael. The Avengers arrived at the base where Michael was lying to talk to him. Meanwhile, the Wasp went in search of Michael's girlfriend. She was able to find her. Her name was Karina and she worked in a coffee shop. At the same time, Michael woke up. Tony told the Avengers that he had discovered a powerful source of energy in Michael. The Wasp brought Karina to the Avengers base so that Michael and Karina met after a long separation. It turns out Michael and Karina did not see each other for 2 years. While this Michael and Karina hugged, aliens teleported to their base. The Avengers stood up for protection and a battle began between them. The Avengers tried to distract attention while the Wasp tried to hide. Hawkeye was able to grab one of the aliens, and when he took off his mask, he realized that they were not all aliens. This alien was called Star-Lord, and he was an ordinary man. He told the Avengers that Michael was an escaped criminal who destroyed more than 1,000 people. Suddenly, Michael was covered with electric energy and scattered all the Avengers around. At this time, Miss Marvel flew to the Avengers. She discovered that the Avengers were all unconscious. She saw Michael and tried to destroy him. The Avengers woke up in some strange place. The location was constantly changing in this world. Together with them to this place, the Guardians of the Galaxy also got caught. They told Michael that the genetic code was changed, but the aliens did not calculate the power and Michael blew up the ship along with the aliens. Suddenly the Avengers teleported back to their world. Just at that moment Michael was fighting with Miss Marvel. All the heroes tried to attack Michael, but he was so strong that he defeated them all. Michael noticed his girlfriend Karina and saw that she was afraid of him. Then he teleported into space and now another villain has been stopped. That's it. 99% of viewers watch without a subscription. Please subscribe.